Alright, welcome back to Heroes 3 as we continue our playthrough of Air Supremacy, and I think I'll start by acknowledging something that I hadn't previously realised, which was that when you run out of movement points, you can actually still dock. You can still disembark from the airship. So with Henrietta here, we do actually have the opportunity to clear out most of this zone if we're willing to give up just one turn. And as we can see, there are quite a few treasure chests lying around, so I actually do think that makes sense, and I think we probably want to start going towards the east, I suppose, though it does actually make us take on the Gorgons. Let's go for this fight. Yep, no losses taken, that's great, and it doesn't force us to take on the Manticores, which is good, because we should probably split these units some more. Let's bring the Armadillos up, and let's have a quick look through the rest of our heroes. So Jury over here is waiting to be able to afford an airship, so we still need a little bit more time for that, possibly next turn. Melchior is not really doing too much. He could pick up a couple of Hydras. I'm not sure if we should do that or not. Brissa, however, should go to the south, should join up with Winona, and I think pass over some of these units. We can get up to 3 Coatls, for example. Rest of the units potentially don't merge quite as nicely, but yeah, 3 Coatls is pretty much a power stack for us at this stage, so we should still do that. Verok has a bit of a choice. He either goes east and goes back above ground, and we go back to Death's Gate. We try to pick up a few more Vampire Lords, which does require the upgraded estate, which does in turn require the Necromancy Amplifier. But we do have everything we need for that with the exception of the gold, so that's very much doable. The only question is, do we take the opportunity to send Verok north instead, where we could go east and explore in that direction. Winona could go to the west, and to be fair, Brissa could probably scout herself, so Verok being here doesn't really help us too much. We can go for the Mercury at least. That's probably fine to do. We don't have too much of that, and there is a chance that someone does just come from the other side and clear that out, so gonna play it safe with that. Jury will move back down to here and we'll just wait, and Melchior, I think we could rest him on top of the Hydras. I wonder if it'd be better just to pick up the Gnolls and just risk him as a scout. So he is only level 2, it doesn't matter too much if we lose him. He does have Eagle Eye, which is useful to hang on to, but if we need to re-recruit him we can. Okay, so no gold left to spend. I don't think we want to trade. I don't think we have a surplus of any particular resource that would justify doing so. If we have a quick look through the towns, this one is probably the one that is most able to be upgraded, but I suppose Blacksmith wouldn't be too hard to do. How's the bank situation looking? Just need to remind myself. So we've already taken a loan everywhere we can. Again, I don't think we want to trade just yet, so we're just going to end the turn there, see what happens as you see green to the south. And yeah, this location just here is where the hero we were previously chasing ran off to. So we can bring Brissa down to the south. We should probably take on the abandoned mine first. We do, however, only have the haste spell, so that's not great, although I think this should still be quite doable. So still going to go for this. Yep, this seems fine. So very few losses expected, but we'll just see if we can do slightly better. Okay, big stack comes forward. Let's go for those straight away as we do take most of them out. These are 5 speed, we are 6 speed, so we're safe to move forwards if we want to, but they can't currently reach us. This stack moves up. We know these are the stacks that the AI threw away, so let's make sure we don't do that ourselves. 14 to 19 kills. Okay, so we don't risk these. 8 to 14 kills. Pretty sure we can take the retail, but no real need to do so. Let's just defend, then let's wait. Pull back with these. These go for this attack, which does take most of them out. This stack can wait. Kill these off with the fire elementals, as that does actually enable this stack to reach, which could be a problem for us. This stack defends, this stack defends. This stack I think does go in, we can definitely take at least one hit. Then we meditate, they can no longer reach the fire elementals. Fire elementals are faster regardless. And not currently in range. This stack waits. This stack moves back. This stack defends. And we should be able to kill them off. Yeah. Okay, we're not going to go for mysticism, although it could be pretty useful, but we don't currently have any great spells. So we restore this to production, and it turns out to be a crystal cavern, which is very good for our faction. Okay, let's go to Winona next. Let's pick up the extra units. So we'll take the Orgoi Korkoi. I suppose we could leave the undead behind. We'll take the morale. Yeah, so I don't want to leave the halflings behind. I think the 14 lizard warriors don't matter too much. I think the zombies aren't important. We do have the 11 vampire lords though, so there is an argument for keeping the necropolis units together. I think this will have to do. Okay, so Winona can go north and chase the other hero down. I think we go to Henrietta first. We're going to go to the Shrine of Magic Thought. A pack of manticores could be kind of tough, but 19 spell points should, I think, see us through. I think we do take these on. So yeah, no losses expected, and we need to remember we are holding out for... Carefulness is pretty good, but we are holding out for Earth Magic for sure. Cannot accept anything else. Okay, let's grab the gold. Gold is quite important to us right now. Gold from here too, and from here as well, and from here. And we have just enough to jump back in the ship. It means we miss out on the Magic Spring. Magic Spring gets us up to 80 spell points. Cyclops Stockpile is great for our mage guilds. We don't have a great composition for that though, but we could split up the Coatls, which would work. Does require us to spend an extra turn. We can see a ship just there to the west, which I think we should move towards pretty much immediately. Okay, so Jury jumps on the ship. Rathmon, I can't remember what I'm doing with this guy. He can at least go to this, that's something. He doesn't have any particularly important units. This stuff's all free to be picked up if we want to. We'll power him up while we're here. This is a free level up, so let's just take it. Let's go for intelligence on this guy. Let's pick up the Seal of Sunset, and let's move towards the Water Wheel. Then Vokil, as planned, continues to come back in this direction. Melchior could go northwest. We should certainly go to this, and we should certainly spread these out. Okay, so Henrietta, one extra turn here, a lot of extra resources, extra spell points. If we turn that down, gets us somewhere else one turn sooner, so Rion does have a few things he can pick up here, which does reveal Jeremy. Jeremy is not Orange's strongest, but Orange is the weakest of the three players. We're actually not the strongest in army strength just yet. I'm losing my voice a bit, by the way. Hopefully it's not too distracting. I do feel mostly fine. Okay, we can see an airship just there. We can see an airship, we can see a bridge, we can see an altar of water which has not actually been taken, suggesting that Jeremy has just landed himself. Alright, I'm just gonna go get some water, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I feel slightly better, but we'll just see how I hold up. Might not be a super long episode. So I do want to see what's to the west. Churchyard just there should be doable if it's not already been cleared. A gazebo just there for 1,000 gold is quite tempting. I think Henrietta should jump in. If we go to the south, we could take on Jeremy. Could it potentially steal his airship? Don't know how much that really helps us. But I feel like a Cyclops stockpile is not necessarily the best use of an entire turn for Henrietta. So let's first decide what to actually build. So day 4 we can go for the watchtower. The gantry is not too far off after that. We just need a bit more gold. In this town we do of course want the, well, we do want the necromancy amplifier into the upgraded estate, but I think City Hall for now does make sense. Start building up that income. In this town we've already got the City Hall. If we scroll down to our other factory town, City Hall here does require the Mage Guild into the Blacksmith, which does then unlock the Manufactory. City Hall here, feel like is a pretty obvious thing to go for. We also have the Citadel, which helps us go towards additional Alloy Korkoi production. I think we'll hedge our bets for the Blacksmith. Then this town still requires all three, but the Marketplace is pretty useful to us, even if we don't use that town for much. Then over in this town, the Manufactory is quite affordable. It's fairly early in the week, so not a bad thing to go for. I think we do just go for that. Build up our production, and if we need to come back for units, we always can. That has used up all of our wood, and now we just need to decide what to do with Winona. So I think it's fairly obvious that we're probably strong enough to take this on, just using her. I don't want to let that hero escape, so I will chase them down. And that is pretty much all we can do this turn, so let's end the turn there, as Jeremy does continue to hoover up resources. Okay, so before we decide what to do with Henrietta, let's scout as much as we can. So Rion can't really reveal too much, but there is a little bit we can pick up to the west. So we go for that, don't really achieve too much. Greater Knoll's Flail is not bad. We can actually land using what little we have left of our movement points. I'm gonna do it. I hope that Rion can run if he needs to. He does have a few useful resources, artifacts in fact, but we're gonna see how that goes. Yeah, Melchior's going to explore all of this. Let's actually check this out. We probably could work out where that is. I'm not gonna think about it too much just yet, but maybe I should ever think about it. What I'm looking for is this group of mushrooms surrounded by a wall. Group of mushrooms surrounded by a wall. To the north, there's this block. But then this is quite similar to this, and there's no sign of the subterranean gate, so I'm guessing it's not there. It does look like it could be here though. But I would have thought a subterranean gate would show up. Anyway, let's keep exploring for now. Possibly one more obelisk might reveal everything we need to know. Let's jump through here. Oh wow, so it's actually Spin. I didn't think that was who we were going for. So he does still have 20 spell points. We have the upgraded magic arrow if we want to. 40 points of damage. We have the slow spell if we want to as well. We can go for that twice. I can't see anything here that necessarily threatens the Coatls, but possibly the 50 nymphs could. So if we were to go for slow, that drops their speed. Takes off a quarter of their speed. So if they are 6 speed, can't remember if this works. I can't remember how this works. I assume it rounds up, in which case it would still be 5 speed. Doesn't necessarily help us. So the halflings do move before the pirates. Yeah, I think we stay back. I think we wait. Wait with as many stacks as we can, as we do take a shot from the magic arrow, unfortunately, but just gonna have to stick with it. We take a few more losses, as the pirates, unsurprisingly, do target the halflings. 3 halfling grenadiers go down to 5 orcs. That seems pretty harsh. But the Oceanids have moved. I put these in harm's way of the Stormbirds, but shouldn't really take a loss, as he does flee. Okay, not super happy with that, but we do break through. Pack of vampire lords here. We can beat that. And they do join us. Wow, okay. I wasn't sure whether to say that out loud as a possibility. I thought I might jinx it, but yeah, we do actually get them. So 28 vampire lords, that's looking really good. If we can get those to Vokil, that would be amazing. So this obelisk we've already been to. Let's just go south. Let's pick up some of the loose resources. And Rissa already has all of her spell points. We'll just check this out. It is still guarded. Actually an orange garrison there. So this is obviously the way to their lands. Let's move to the east instead. Jury, I think, should get on a ship. We can get down here in 2 turns, so let's do that. So Jury does have advanced navigation. She is a great choice for getting out into the water. Rathmont goes for these 2. And we'll loop our way back. Okay, so that just leaves Henrietta. Before we decide what to do with Henrietta, let's go back to this. City Hall just requires the Mage Guild in this town, which is quite doable. Day 5, I think we can still justify building up economy. So yeah, let's go for that. Do we want a spellbook for Cal? I think we do. So nothing great there. Actually, Summon Boat. That's a really good one, although we can probably pick up everything we need without that. Okay, so in this town, if we go for the Citadel, it gets us a bit of extra growth on some units we don't really care about too much. The Resource Silo does actually allow us to get Mighty Gorgons. And this is a rare map where there is a lot to do with all that wood. But I don't think we'll build any more airships at this point. So I'm just going to go Captain's Quarters. I'm sure that won't help us much at all, but it's better than nothing. It's 1,000 gold, we're not going to miss too much. We're going to go for the Necromancy Amplifier in this town. Keep constructing wherever we can. This town already has all of the most useful upgrades it can go for. The upgraded manufactory, again, still really expensive in ore. Do we go for upgraded catacombs here? So this is the town of Volta. The town of Volta is this one just here, I believe. So there's not actually anyone close to that right now. We could bring Rathmont up. Rathmont could also go for the gems, perhaps. The Ghost Dragon's going to be too tough for us. We can't go any further than this. This is a dead end. There's a Mercury there if we want it. Verok can go for that though. Gazebo just there doesn't really help us. If we were to go back underground, if we go to the west, we could try and do this with Rathmont. Open this up. So a pack of sorceresses, that's pretty tough to break through. But if we find ourselves with enough gold, that should be okay to do. I don't think, yeah, we definitely can't go for Dragon Utopia. That's not a good idea. Other stuff we can go for, so none of this stuff is super useful. Pack of Archdevils we certainly don't really want to go for. If we go to the west, there's probably a town around here somewhere. If we go to the south, this is all unexplored. I'm sure we can break through all of this if we need to. Maybe we go straight south. I think we'll go towards Jeremy. Okay, even more on the water just there. And we're just going to end the turn as... Okay. Rion does get chased down. This is Pykedrum. And he has an okay force. I would still say he's probably a scout. So 30 points of damage. Can't kill off a sandworm. Can kill an automaton, so let's go for that. And let's retreat. Ah, he steals our boat though. That's really annoying. So, steals our boat. Orange moves through there. He has Vey. Vey is his strongest hero. And with those extra Vampire Lords, I'd say that's pretty beatable. We can reach. Ah, not quite. Okay. So we could pass the units to Brissa. She does at least have haste. Her stats are not great. And we can't really give her more. Vey's stats are not great either though. 2 spell power. I think we'd be relying very heavily on the Vampire Lords. I'm tempted to try it though. Okay, Vokil goes for this, and for these loose resources too. Jury. We'll go southwest as planned. And yeah, as expected, we can't land. We can't land into the boat. But if we just move up here, that does open everything up to us. I think we'll try and grab the chest and then come back. Rathmont has nothing super important to do right now. Melchior will go to the west and steal some resources. As we can get our way through to the top as well. Oh wow, if we can just reach the Redwood Observatory, that'd be great. this is, yeah, this is where Pikerim is. He can probably take the shipwrecks. We did leave a sea chest, unfortunately, but most of that area has been cleared up by us. It is a bit of a risk to Jury, but she should get a few turns at least to pick things up. Okay, so I think Winona goes to the magic well, gets her spell points back, as actually looks like they've been digging here. So perhaps this is the spot, and that does make sense. But what I find strange is just that the map doesn't show the subterranean gate. Don't remember that being the case. Okay, so make ourselves as strong as possible. We do want all of the artifacts. We want the wyverns. Orkoi, Kuatls, halflings. I think this is the way. I shouldn't have pressed that, that's annoying. I think this is the way. I think these are the best units we can gather. So the stack I'm most worried about, so the Nyx potentially, but also actually the Sea Witches too. I wish we had some more spells. No Scholar though. I think we just go for this. Okay, so a loss is expected. I'm gonna see if I can turn that around. I'm not sure this is the right choice to go for. We are going to haste these as our most important stack. That will last for 5 rounds. Then we're just going to wait, as our morale is really poor. Perhaps not surprising. Really poor. Okay, and we get weakened too. Just move forwards with these. I shouldn't have bought the fire elementals. It's not worth it. I think they do drop our morale. They do use up his spell though, which is not bad. So they does not have artillery. That's good to know. I do want to weaken the Nyx. Stormbirds also would be useful to weaken. I think going for the Nymphs though is the obvious choice for this stack. Yep, let's go for this. So they do very little damage back. This stack is free to attack whatever it pleases. Actually not doing that much damage, frankly. So they do start off next round. I think we should go for whichever stack can do the most damage to us outright, which Stormbird's probably not, maybe actually the crewmates. The problem with the Nyx is we just don't do enough damage. 0 to 1 kills. We do want to shut the Sea Witches down, but we can do that next turn. So yeah, I think we do go for the Stormbirds. Get our units back. Next round begins. We'll go straight for the Sea Witches. Then we should haste one of our units. So I'm a little bit worried the Wyverns might miss their turn, but I feel like they're still the best choice. These guys go for the Pirates. Okay, great. So we don't miss our turn. We can send these in. 7 to 9 kills on the Stormbirds if we want to. They're perhaps the immediate threat to our Vampire Lords, so let's go for those. And we've used up the retaliation, so we send in the Orkoi. As expected, the enemy units do focus down the Vampire Lords. Nyx choose to go for the Orkoi, actually take out 5 of them. So that's pretty grim. I don't think we engage the crewmates. Wow, okay, they get a lucky strike against the Kuatls and kill off 3 of them. That did so much more than I thought. Yeah, so the cannon at least is pretty weak, that's one good thing. Still 16 Sea Witches to go. Who do we haste at this point? So we could do something crazy, like we could haste the Halfling Grenadiers, use their melee attack to draw out the retaliation on the Nyx, and then focus the Nyx down. Problem is, these are 15 speed. So they would have to wait first. Yeah, I think his units just do too much damage. I think he possibly has offense. Actually, maybe he starts with it Vey. That does sound familiar. Okay, so I don't think that plan works necessarily. We could speed up the fire elementals. If we don't engage the Nyx this round, we could instead go for the crewmates perhaps. Okay, so we should obviously haste. I think we haste this stack. Keep weakening these. Do we draw out retaliation? Do we just kill something off? I think we will start weakening these. So yeah, without their luck, they do nowhere near as much damage in response. These can block off the pirates, not that there's many left. And we start focusing these down. Can devour a corpse if we want to. I don't think that helps us very much. Let's just keep going for these. I'm gonna send these forward as bait. Okay, they do go for the vampires and they get 8 of those. Have to hope we can just about sustain them. So we take 3 further losses. Might be difficult. So 6 to 10 kills on these. We do want to minimize our exposure to the Nyx's attacks. If we attack them from this angle, there's a chance we can block them off, so the Nyx can't go for them. We do need something to block off the Sea Witches for sure, and there's a chance our next 2 stacks could miss their turn through morale, so I think we've got to haste these. Then just go for this. Okay, I'm gonna risk the wyverns. They will probably be killed off, or mostly killed off. Can these still reach? So we should be safe from those now, especially if we go for this. Okay, we do lose the 4 wyverns there to the Nyx. That's painful but not unexpected. Still struggling to get the Vampire Lord numbers back up. If we throw them in against the Nyx, doesn't really help us that much. So we can kill off all of the crewmates. I think we've still got to do that for now. Then this stack draws out the retaliation. This stack still has a little bit of power, so we do get 1 kill for that. He's going next. And as much as I'd like to devour corpses at some point, I think... well, we could go for the cannon. We could devour a corpse, double attack the cannon. That also blocks the Nyx. Because if we go for this, they got their 6 speed, they'd have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think it still makes sense to attack the Nyx, so we're going to go for that. They go for the wyverns, which do just about survive. The vampire numbers are still going up. Next round begins. Vampire lords have lost their speed. Let's go for haste again. Gonna go for the Sea Witches. And I think we do now involve these. Okay, we get disease, which weakens them a bit, but they do wipe out our ugly Korkoi. Still, we're building our numbers back up. Let's go for these again. It's gonna be close. One kill if we go for this. I think that does make sense. Weaken them some more. Wyverns go down. Zombies go down. One more kill from the vampires. We're back up to 27. Momentum seems to be massively in our favor. Back up to 28. Ah, but they do get morale. And the cannon brings us down to 22. Bring them down to 3, back up to 25, and Vey does flee, so we do win against Orange's strongest hero, but at the cost of pretty much all of our units. I'll take first aid. So, Brissa now, level 5. Has access to offense, already has air magic. Resistance is pretty good. We shouldn't go for this, although with the vampires we probably could. Yeah. Bit of extra luck too. Vampire Lords are almost perfect for this. Okay, so Henrietta can get to move pretty soon. I think we're not going to learn too much from using Rathmont. Let's just go straight south. I would actually be tempted to try and wipe Pike Drum out, but it's a little bit difficult to do. So here we've got Jeremy, who's pretty easy to chase down. There's the Junkman, which I think is, that's just extra artifacts. Griffin Conservatory is probably doable. Cyclops Kings. For a School of Magic and a Ribcage, the Ribcage would actually be useful to us, but our particular composition might not be great for that. So Jeremy's probably going to run off. If we go slightly further south, can we fly far enough south to reach this? Actually a tower town there. Ancient Behemoths, lots of Griffins there. That's pretty much free experience for us. I think we land. Take the free experience, and probably Jeremy will now try to run off, but we'll try to chase him down. We do have logistics, advanced logistics, which is not great, but it's better than nothing. We go back to the town. This town I think is not really a priority. This town, upgraded estate. Actually would wish on. But the mausoleum's actually very affordable to us, and it's day 6. So let's go for that. In this town, we, I think, should go for City Hall. We could go for Citadel instead, into Castle, but that is going to cost us a bit too much wood, so I think City Hall does make sense for now. This town, Citadel, if we go for the resource silo, we could start building up a bit of a mass of Mighty Gorgons. It's been a bit of a weird composition in general, this playthrough, but I don't hate the idea. This is not a bad town for a resource silo. Let's just check there's nothing else to do. So we do have, of course, have the option of the gantry at some point. The watchtower is not far off. I think we trade. We trade, we go for the watchtower here, just make sure we build up a bit of production. This town also is not far from a watchtower. Gantry before the end of the week would be good. We can't afford both, but should be able to afford one. So let's see, we're going to need a lot more ore. And I don't really see a way to get that. There is a lot of wood just there, but no obvious source of ore. Bit of ore there, but just the one pile. Ore pit just there, but nowhere near any of our heroes, with the possible exception of Jury, but I don't think we use Jury for that. I think Jury needs to go east and needs to stay away from Pike Drum as much as possible. Okay, back to this town. Resource silo. Do we go for it? No, I don't think we do. I think we just end the turn. Rathmont. Rathmont will move up in this direction. We could pick up some units, but there's not too much there. Yeah, I think Rathmont goes up this way, picks up some units from here. And that just leaves us with the option of bringing Rion back, who has a few useful artifacts, but also there's Jedi, comes with Resurrection. We don't have a Scholar though. Let's just absolutely make sure of that. Yeah, so Henrietta does not have Scholar, Winona doesn't, Melchior doesn't, Bokiel doesn't, Brissa doesn't, Jury doesn't, and Rathmont doesn't. The university also will not teach us that skill, so I don't really want to let Jedi go, but it might make sense to do so. We do also have the Collar of Conjuring, which I think is part of the same artifact as yeah, this, Ring of the Magi, but it's not a particularly useful combination artifact. It's not bad for a map like this, 50 extra turns on all of our spells. Only have 4 spell power. Not a bad choice. We still have next turn to decide, as green doesn't do too much. Annoyingly, Floribert does chase Melchior down, so we've lost another hero. I did really want to get to that Redwood Observatory, but never mind. No spells. We do get to have a little look at some of his spells. But okay. Nothing we can do about this. Just gotta flee and we do at least know what he's up to, and oh, this is annoying. We're gonna lose our airship. Didn't think about that. Presumably when we wipe this guy out, the airship just disappears. It's quite annoying. There is another one to the west, of course, so it's not a terrible situation. Okay, let's see if we can get some speed. Do we just go for haste? So he does have 5 attack, which is not bad. So the main thing I want to do is I want to take out the enchanters before they can cast. But I'm then exposed to full damage from lizard men. I'm going to go for haste. We can kill these off. And halfling grenadiers can kill off the lizards. Precision 2, that helps. They missed their turn, that's perfect. Shouldn't take a loss from these. We kill these off. These rush forwards. Jeremy flees. Airship sadly does disappear. Okay. I'm gonna go to this. Ah, I see. So this is where we trade artifacts for resources. Okay, I don't think we want to do that. We can scare these off, that'd be nice. Don't care too much about this wood. Let's go to this first. Let's go for gold. Go west, summon boat. Grab the ore. Probably could go for this and still make it back. But I'm not super confident. I'm just going to jump on. Rathmont moves up to here. Okay, it's day 7, so gantry is a potentially important thing to go for. We just need a little bit more ore. We can't do it in this town, but this town does also have... No, it doesn't. Ah, I made a mistake. This town does not have a castle. So we will miss out on 1 dreadnought. That's a shame, I forgot about the lack of castle here. But yeah, I think we trade. Do we need to though? Before we decide, we have got a few other heroes to move, so Verok goes up here. We do grab some crystal from there. Go back towards this as well. Brissa goes west. Do we swap back to Winona? I think Winona is still the better of the two. Don't have the right units to take on the churchyard because, of course, our life drain's not going to work. Okay, I'm just going to break through here. I'm pretty sure we can do this. Pretty sure we can. So yeah, we're the fastest things on the field, and we're going to do a bit of a throwback to the Vampires Only playthrough from a few years ago. We're going to go to the special location. Right in the corner. And let's see what they can do. Probably not much. Yeah, we're fine. So we just gotta play this out. Let's speed this up. Yeah, this is a bit of a drag. Let's just speed this right up. Absolutely no problem. Okay, we're going to say no to fire magic. We're just going to push through, go west, as we can actually see Cove Town there, and I'm pretty sure that's doable if there are no heroes in the town, which it looks like there aren't. Ah. We don't have a first aid tent, of course, so we're not going to be at our strongest. They do also have a castle. So I think we do want the additional units from Winona. It's a little bit risky, but we did just take out their hero near here. Winona has the scouting, of course, so we do reveal a bit more of the map. And Brissa, if Brissa can just get maybe a couple more spells, that'd be brilliant. This is their capital, so presumably their starting town. Red Keymaster's tent just there. Yeah, I think we want that insurance of a few extra units. I'm not actually sure we can do it, because if the arrow towers focus down the vampires, we might not get enough back. Yeah, Winona doesn't have haste, which is also a problem. It's a bit of a risk. I think we probably still go for it, but on the understanding we might lose. Okay, so for all of this, I think we actually do spread these out. I'm going to try this. Hopefully they run off, which they don't. 18 losses expected. Okay, I'm going to haste. And we are mostly just going to sit around. Use haste. Nope, okay. So that's where we take the losses, and in fact, possibly heavier losses. I should have probably hasted the halfling grenadiers instead, but never mind. Kill these off. This stat goes forward just in case. Heal these up. These defend. These lock the Cyclops in. Yeah, that's kind of annoying, but this is a permanent benefit. Let's go for the knowledge. Still gonna go for the gold. Okay, so decision time, we've got the option of, well, this town, we could actually go for the Hall of Darkness, but that's way too costly in terms of wood and ore. So yeah, I think Gantry and Volta. It's not too far off. Not the ideal location, but not too bad either. We go for the Gantry, a bit of extra growth next turn. Rathmon is here to pick the units up if we want him to. I think we actually do send him back to this for the stables boost, just in case. Back in this town. Anything else that will increase our unit production. So the Citadel is pretty affordable, does get us some extra sandworms. I think we do want to do that. Couple of these, it's fine to get rid of. Go for the Citadel. We also have the option of using the bank if we want to. Let's take some more of this stuff out. So blacksmith's pretty affordable. Let's go for that, build our way towards City Hall. And Henrietta. I don't think we care too much about picking up the sawmill, really. It is useful to us. Well, we literally have 0 wood. I think we're fine. We're fine to use Henrietta for that. It's not beneath her. Death's Gate over here. Probably none of this stuff worth going for. Just gonna end the turn there, but before we do, decision time about whether we rescue our lost heroes. So Jedi has now disappeared because of Melchior fleeing. Melchior actually, other than the Eagle Eye, he doesn't have much. Rion is at least okay. Could he be a useful scout? These locations aren't great to scout from, but I guess from this location now we can break through the engineers pretty easy, the pikemen too. Then we move out. We can go through the subterranean gate. He can scout from there. Also quite possible to scout from Stillbog. Actually, probably even easier. So yeah, we're going to go for Rion back here. Vidamina we won't go for. Rion stays in the town. We'll pick up one of these for the extra speed. End the turn there. Green does take the chest, but otherwise doesn't achieve too much and not going super aggressively towards us. But they do go back and park themselves in that town, making it even tougher, and it's Vey who's actually pretty good. Okay, I'm not sure this will actually work. Would not be at all surprised if we lose this. Of the two, are we better off just using Winona? Probably. So yeah, she is... Brister is level 7, Winona's level 5. Winona has 7 attack. Brissa has the good spellcasting, but only really has haste, so I think we actually take one of these. If the arrow towers go for the lizards, that is perfect, but I doubt they will. Okay, so Vey, I guess there must be another hero in the town. Vey's on his own. He's got his 40 spell points, I think. Because Auto Resolve doesn't take spells into account, we just go for a spell there. We'll go for... I do want Wisdom. This we are expected to lose. Okay. So arrow towers do go for those, which is great, but... yeah, we don't have haste. This. And they do go straight for the slow. Okay. Let's try and bait them out. This might be a mistake. Okay, so spell options, they don't have any range units. This is the scariest stack. Just gotta go forwards. Okay, so they haste those. Gonna be forced to waste another turn. This is not looking great. If we could actually engage, that'd be perfect. Okay, so we do at least manage to weaken those slightly. Very... oh wow, they get the luck too. That is their scariest stack, and it doesn't do a huge amount to us, but... still not feeling great. Continue to defend with these. Gotta weaken these some more. 4 more back. Other stack's not really too scary. It is really the arrow towers that are going to cause us the most problems. I think we want to start weakening this. Back up to 21. We should definitely win though. I guess they do still have spells. Can't actually kill the sea serpents off if we go for them. I think we wait. Sea serpents still have the initiative, I guess. They will surely go for us. But I think we just want to do as much damage as possible. We get a couple of these back. So they get luck in response. Still got 12 left though. They go for the slow, they attack us again. We do get the kill. Okay, I think we move up in the hopes that the goblins move down to attack us, which they do, which is very foolish, but we don't have a retail, so it doesn't actually help us regardless, and we don't want to be shot again, so we go for this. We do take quite a few losses, we're not going to get those back, but we get expert scouting, which is really great on this hero. We also steal what was their capital town, although it's not particularly well upgraded. They do have the Maelstrom. For some reason, they've literally not upgraded a single one of their dwellings. It's all a little bit strange, but they do have a fresh week of growth, including the doubled crewmates, so that's pretty good. Anyway, I think we are going to wrap up this episode here, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.